no felonies. I'm not crazy or none of that. It's like, I just want the truth, and it's so hard to get it from the courts. And seems like Jay-Z don't want to say anything. So, I don't want to see him go down for something that you could have just got to.
I think that they don't want, if they was in any of those freak off tapes, if they played a part in any of those Diddy sessions, they don't want it to get out to the general public to make a...
Tonight is a family affair. I saw your mother-in-law so proud of.
Yeah, we're going, yeah.
Jay-Z, the rap kingpin turned billionaire business boss, is now tangled in a wild scandal that could wreck the empire he built from the streets of Marcy projects all the way to global dominance. And no, this ain't about old feuds or some cryptic bars hiding secrets. This time, it's real-life drama, straight-up bloodline bombshells. Multiple people are now stepping out, claiming they are Jay-Z's forgotten kids. Some say they were born behind closed doors, raised by single moms grinding just to survive, while the man they called Dad was out here rapping about generational wealth and family loyalty. And now, they've had enough. The accusations are blowing up all over social media, legal documents, and even from family members who've allegedly been keeping these secrets locked up for years. Jay-Z's legal squad is calling it all nonsense, just harassment and money grabs. But here's the real question. If it's all fake, why dodge a simple DNA test? It's 2025, swabbing ain't rocket science. But word is, behind closed doors, the story gets way messier. Because this drama doesn't stop with Jay-Z. Insiders are whispering that Beyonce, the master of perfection and the fierce protector of their billion-dollar brand, isn't playing around. Allegedly, she's laid down the law. Keep those alleged kids and their drama far from the family, or risk watching it all burn down. If that's true, it could explain why Jay stayed silent for so long. Not just out of fear of exposure, but out of loyalty to the queen herself. This whole situation, it's giving designer drama with a side of panic. And trust, that's just the tip of it. A former Roc Nation insider just dropped a bomb, claiming Jay-Z might not be as distant from these so-called secret kids as he makes it seem. Word is, there's a hidden stash, a low-key shadow fund, allegedly used to cover rent, school fees, and everyday bills for some mystery individuals. And guess what? This wasn't some sloppy setup. These deals were supposedly sealed under NDAs so tight they'd make a lawyer sweat. That same insider swears Beyonce got wind of this secret bankroll back in late 2022, and things got icy at home real fast. We're talking silent treatments, locked door meetings, and a vibe so cold it could freeze champagne. Nobody's shouting divorce, but ain't nobody saying happily ever after either. Let's not act brand new. Jay-Z already fessed up to cheating in the past. The whole world heard it through their albums, like a musical therapy session laced with pain and apology. But this time, it's not about slipping up with someone on tour. This is way deeper. It's about bloodlines, legacy, the possibility that the Carter dynasty has been cracked down the middle all along. Some sources say Beyoncé doesn't just see these alleged kids as side chicks leftovers. She sees them as threats to her marriage and to the brand. We're talking about a kingdom crafted over decades, with Blue Ivy and the twins raised as royalty. Now imagine two grown adults stepping forward with DNA receipts. What's really heating things up is what's allegedly going down behind closed courtroom doors. The case involving Rymir Satterthwaite? It's been bouncing through the legal system for years like nobody wants to touch it, passed around like a hot mess. And here's where it gets wild. His mother swore in a legal affidavit that she had a fling with Jay-Z back in the early 90s, when she was just 16. That timeline? Yeah, it raises serious eyebrows. Jay-Z's legal team keeps calling the claims baseless, saying it's all been thrown out by the courts. But the paperwork tells a different story, with delays, sketchy filings, legal sidesteps, and even murky statements about property ownership that a judge later called misleading. That's not just courtroom noise, that's a pattern. This ain't just another he said, she said. It's turned into he filed, she pushed back, they sealed it up. Meanwhile, Mace's story? It hits hard, packed with raw emotion and details that feel way too specific to ignore. She talks about growing up in a town where everyone whispered about who her dad was. She raised her own kids while watching her mom fight through illness. And the way she tells it, she's not here for pity. She wants the truth out in the open. She's not chasing clout or cash, she's calling for acknowledgement. And based on what she's posted, it's tough to just brush it off. Even her aunt stepped in, claiming she saw Jay-Z and Mace's mom together plenty of times back in the day, chilling with friends, sipping drinks, sharing laughs. Sounds like harmless fun, until a baby shows up and ends up forgotten like they never existed. Let's be real. This ain't just some clout-chasing claim or a one-time headline grab. This is starting to look like a pattern. Two different people from totally different states and walks of life are stepping up with shockingly similar stories. Same timeline, same roadblocks, same wall of silence. What's even wilder, both cases hint at a bigger system at play, where hush money replaces honesty and protecting the brand matters more than doing what's right. It's like a quiet network built to keep things buried, where paternity gets dodged and image always comes first. And boom, enter the Diddy link. Because when it rains in this circle, it pours scandal. Jay-Z's tight connection to Sean Diddy Combs is raising more than a few eyebrows, especially now that Diddy's caught up in a massive legal storm of his own. While Diddy's dealing with a mountain of lawsuits, Jay-Z's sudden silence has people talking. Is he distancing himself on purpose? Some insiders think Jay is jumping ship early, just in case any of Diddy's accusers pull him into the chaos too. And don't think it stops there. Both moguls were named together in a joint civil suit, tied to disturbing allegations from an industry party way back in 2000. Jay-Z didn't just deny it, he snapped back, daring the accuser to take it criminal. Step back and look at the big picture. This ain't just messy, it's massive. Jay-Z, the icon praised for spitting raw truth in his lyrics, now facing claims that he's been hiding his realest truth, his bloodline. And Beyonce, the flawless force who's always 10 steps ahead. Rumor has it she's been making serious moves behind the scenes, handing out ultimatums like they're contracts. Meanwhile, far away from the flashing lights and billion-dollar headlines, there are two adults who've grown up staring at mirrors, wondering if the man in every magazine, every playlist, is actually the one behind their DNA. It's haunting. So now, the real question is, what else is Jay-Z hiding, and how long can the silence hold before it finally explodes? 'Cause secrets might sleep for a while, but they never stay buried. The internet, it's not waiting, it's on fire. And Jay-Z still hasn't said a single word. No interviews, no cryptic bars, not even a sub on a track. And this time, fans aren't buying the calm. The silence is louder than any beat drop. The hashtag number sign, Take the Test, is taking over like a digital rebellion. Thousands are flooding the platforms, demanding answers. If you've got nothing to hide, then prove it, they say. Some posts have blown up, showing side-by-side photos of Jay-Z and the alleged kids, with captions like "Mirror, Mirror" and "You can't deny DNA." The same fans who once rode hard for Jay-Z, defending him no matter what, are now flipping the script. They want receipts, and they want them now. And this pressure, it's not just blowing up online, it's creeping into his brand, his business deals, even the legacy he spent decades building. Because this isn't just about fatherhood anymore. It's about control. And if there's one thing the Carters have mastered, it's controlling every single narrative. From flawless tour rollouts to curated album drops and head-turning red carpet looks, everything they do is planned down to the decimal. So this sudden slip, this chaos they can't contain, yeah, it's unfamiliar territory. Some insiders are saying Jay-Z's team is using the classic let it die tactic. Ignore it until the noise fades. But that only works if people stop talking. And right now, the convo just keeps getting louder. Old lawsuits are popping up. Forgotten interviews are going viral. Even throwback footage is being dissected frame by frame like a crime scene. And every time a new voice steps forward claiming to be his child, that silence starts to feel like a silent yes. But now, the focus is shifting. not just on Jay-Z, but on Beyoncé too. For years, she's been seen as the queen of control, the blueprint of image management and reinvention. But this mess, it's deep, it's personal, and it's clinging to her brand like a stain. Some say her silence isn't about standing by her man, it's about protecting her own image. Because what happens if Jay-Z does confirm even one of these claims? Let's not skip over one major detail: Beyoncé's own half-siblings. Yes, plural. And guess what? She's never publicly acknowledged them. Not in interviews, not in behind-the-scenes family moments, not even in her glossy documentaries or high-fashion spreads where she controls everything. That silence, it's not going unnoticed anymore. Fans are starting to connect the dots and question what's really going on behind that polished perfection. Is it truly about protecting her kids from the spotlight? Or is it about holding up the flawless image, the idea that the Carter legacy is untouchable? Because once that perfect picture starts to crack, people start looking even closer, and what they might find could tear down more than just headlines. It could shake the very foundation of the empire. Insiders say Beyoncé's real fury isn't just about the scandal, it's about losing control. They claim she's livid this situation got so big, so public. Why? Because it was supposed to be handled, shut down quietly, buried under legal red tape and elite-level PR spin before the world ever caught a whiff. One entertainment executive who worked with Parkwood Entertainment even said, "Her team runs narrative control like it's national security." Anything involving her family, and especially stories hinting at hidden kids or paternity drama, gets treated like a code red emergency. She doesn't do chaos, the source added. She does legacy. And speaking of legacy, isn't it wild how this all circles back to the early 2000s? Around the time Aaliyah tragically passed and Beyoncé was still trying to solidify her solo career? Legacy was the mission back then. And it still is. Blue Ivy's Grammy wins, the Disney deals, the queen-like red carpet presence. It all depends on this idea that she's the perfect product of two cultural giants. But if it comes out that her father spent decades dodging paternity tests while wiring hush money to unknown families, that fairy tale doesn't just crack, it collapses. Even if none of it sticks in court, the public perception, that's a whole different beast. If even one of Jay-Z's alleged children gets confirmed, this won't just spark headlines, it'll trigger a full-blown earthquake. Legally, the Carter estate, reportedly worth over $2 billion, could become a war zone overnight. Inheritance questions, trust battles, estate plans, all of it would go up in flames. Blue Ivy, who's been styled as the next in line, the princess of the Carter throne, could suddenly find herself facing not just emotional shock, but legal competition. And if more than one of these claims turns out to be true, the whole legacy map gets flipped. This isn't just about who gets the money, it's about how much of that billion-dollar empire was built while keeping real potential heirs in the shadows. But forget the dollars for a second. The real cost here might be emotional. Imagine being someone like Rymir or Latia, growing up with this belief that your father is one of the most powerful, most celebrated men in the world, a man who shaped the sound of a generation, while never once saying your name. They didn't get private chefs or penthouse vacations. Their lives were shaped by court dates, social media judgment, and silence that screamed louder than any headline. While Jay-Z racked up Grammys and graced magazine covers, they were fighting just to be seen. Not for fame, but for truth. Their strength wasn't built in studios or boardrooms. It was built through survival. The mental toll of being invisible in plain sight. Of living with the weight that your existence might be someone else's best kept secret. And if that secret ever comes to light, would they be welcomed with open arms? Or kept behind closed doors, tucked away like a PR liability? The public might be rooting for justice, but behind closed doors, the reality could be ice cold. When family ties get this complicated, don't expect hugs, happy reunions, or holiday dinners. And if Beyoncé's behind-the-scenes power is as deep as insiders claim, these alleged children might get legal acknowledgement, but still end up ghosted from the spotlight. No features in documentaries, No name drops in award speeches. No seat at the table when the Carter family is celebrated at the Grammys. Just a quiet line on paper. And a loud absence from the legacy. Recognition without inclusion. That's the real heartbreak. Then there's the generational twist. Blue Ivy, Rumi, and Sir have grown up inside a golden fortress, surrounded by fame, luxury, and a narrative sculpted to perfection. But what happens when they hear whispers at school? Or see TikToks going viral? Or read the headlines that claim they've got half-siblings who didn't get the same fairy tale? Does that spark empathy, confusion, maybe even resentment? Because for the next generation of Carters, identity isn't just about DNA. It's about the story they've been told. And if that story suddenly shifts, it could shake their entire sense of self. In the public eye, bloodlines matter, but so does how that blood is treated. The Carter brand has always been about precision, about shaping the story before the world gets a chance to question it. But if these alleged children keep pushing forward, backed by legal wins, social momentum, or just time, the Carters might not have a choice anymore. The fact that multiple lawsuits are still alive across state lines, that's not just smoke, that's a 5-alarm fire. These aren't just random claims floating on social media. We're talking official legal filings alleging everything from shady courtroom tactics to constitutional violations, especially in the case of Rymir Satterthwaite. His paperwork doesn't just name Jay-Z, it calls out New Jersey judges, sealed records, and even hints at misconduct by Jay's own legal team. This ain't reading like a basic paternity suit, it's unfolding like a legal thriller. And while the courts haven't confirmed Jay-Z's connection to Rymir, they haven't exactly shut the door on it either. Every delay, every procedural dismissal, every argument over which court can even touch the case, it all fuels the suspicion. Like, if it's really that baseless, why does this thing keep rising from the dead? And now, even folks from Jay's past are stirring the pot. A former Rockefeller affiliate, Sino, dropped a serious allegation claiming Jay-Z bought a house for Latia Masere, the woman saying she's his daughter. But here's the catch. He allegedly told her to keep his pictures out of the house. No photos, no proof, just quiet money and silence. So what is that? Protection from chaos, or a quiet attempt to erase the connection? Is it guilt? Or damage control? Nobody knows for sure. But if that property exists and those payments can be traced, those receipts could hit the surface real soon. And that's why the public won't let go. Not just for the drama, but because we're watching the slow breakdown of a legacy we thought was airtight. With every day that Jay-Z and Beyonce stay silent, the noise grows louder. Is this the start of a long overdue reckoning? Or are they just playing the long game, hoping we move on before the truth, whatever it is, finally crawls into the light? As the smoke thickens around the Carter empire, one thing's for sure. This story isn't going away quietly. With lawsuits still in motion, whispers from insiders, and potential receipts waiting to explode, the once bulletproof image of Jay-Z and Beyonce is now under the harshest spotlight it's ever seen. What began as murmurs has turned into a roar. It's no longer just about rumors or court papers. It's about legacy, identity, and the people left in the shadows. From paternity drama to sealed courtrooms, from alleged secret homes to erased bloodlines, this scandal is slicing into the polished surface of a dynasty built on control. And now, the world is watching. So, what's next? Will Jay-Z finally speak up? Will Beyoncé break formation to protect her brand? Or will more voices come forward, tearing down the silence brick by brick? Only time will tell. But one thing's certain, the truth always finds a way out. Thanks for tuning in to Channel Brightify, where no mask stays on forever. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share your thoughts below. We want to hear what you think about this saga. Is it a cover-up or a cry for truth? Let us know, and stay locked in for the next chapter.